When I say the greatest roguelike of all time, what do you think of? Probably something like Hades, Gungeon, Binding of Isaac, maybe card ones like Slay the Spire, and if you're crazy, you'll say Splunky, and then of course Risk of Rain 2. Now when I say greatest 3D roguelike of all time, that list gets quite a bit smaller. Personally, off the top of my head, I can only ever recall playing 2 3D roguelikes, which is crazy because I've played a ton of roguelikes. After doing some research on other games, it really seems like most of these other games couldn't break through the niche and reach a larger audience to the extent that Risk of Rain 2 was able to. Returnal is far too expensive, and Ziggurat 2 is good, but visually everything blends together with its procedurally generated rooms. Dreamscaper is a cool story-driven roguelike, but it has a very strange leveling mechanic system tied to like enhancing your relationships with NPCs that adheres to an even more niche audience. And I mean, lastly, there's Barony, which I could say from first-hand experience, while fun, doesn't compare to Risk of Rain at all. So when I say the game that defined a genre, I mean specifically 3D roguelikes, which is supported by its mass notoriety. But what is it that Risk of Rain did to become a renowned masterpiece? The gameplay loop is simple, like most class-based roguelikes. You pick a class, load in, get items and drones and whatnot, fight a boss, move to the next floor until you get to the end, beat the final boss, and boom, you beat the game. Combat is simple, yet incredibly engaging, and even more so depending on the character you're playing. You'll start the game some puny weakling struggling to get through, then evolve into a final form angel Digimon, capable of wiping out all of existence with a snap of your finger. Another thing like most roguelikes though is that there's actually more than meets the eye.
Hey, Darkwing! Don't. My finger can transform. Guess which one?
Allow me.
That's the worst edit I've ever made. Please subscribe. You're able to get relics, which add new gameplay mechanics for each run, like getting to choose your items or quadrupling the amount of enemies spawning. There are also tons and tons of secret levels and bosses and ways to unlock other items, and they all unlock different characters and other ways to beat the game. And it's all very, very fun to figure out all that stuff. And it's all tied to Steam achievements. Jacob from the future here. The new DLC is not tied to Steam achievements because Gearbox likes doing stupid shit. Okay, going back, which is really cool. As for the classes, almost every single class feels incredibly fun to play. I mean, the exception is being the starting class, which it's a fine class. It's just compared to the others, it's nothing. You know, you're never going to go back to it. These classes also have alternate abilities, which you can unlock and change the playstyle of that class. As for what they are though, you have the Huntress who teleports around, shooting their bow and utilizing pretty decent AoE damage. Then you have the Bandit who has an invisibility get out of trouble card and a cool alternate super where every time he gets a kill with his revolver it adds a stack amplifying the damage of the ult the next time it's used. Now, you know, apparently the devs hate fun because, you know, it resets in between floors. Like, hey, Gearbox, just make it so if we take damage, we lose the stacks. Or if we take, like, more than 50% damage, we lose the stacks or something. Let us get this up to, like, 1,000 stacks. That'd be so much fun. Then you have the Wally ripoff, Multi. Just imagine if Boston Dynamics made a robot that could use crack and had infinite ammo in its nail gun and a rocket launcher strapped to it. After him, you have the Mercenary to fulfill your Virgil cosplaying needs. Next up is Rex, who, just imagine if Boston Dynamics made a robot that could grow its own weed, and that's Rex. Then you have the Loader. He just throws straight hands. This is one of the fan favorite classes, and I mean for a good reason. You're swinging around like Spider-Man and boxing like Mike Tyson. Then you have Acrid, the doggy on acid. He stacks poison and alternatively blight, making him a cool damage over time character. Then you have the Captain, who I used to sleep on. I used to believe he was very boring. But then I got proven wrong when I had 500 drones who all shot down every projectile on screen and had infinite orbital bombardments raining down from the heavens. After him is the Railgunner, who I personally, you know, don't enjoy the Railgunner. It's just the sniper class. How much damage did that just do? Then finally you have the Void Fiend, who's a fitness influencer that has roid rage-induced incidents every so often. Your goal is to find the perfect balance of roids and protein to remain in balance. Or you could do the funny thing and just go straight feral on roids. Hey, Jake from the future. So they dropped another DLC with more characters, but I haven't had it or played them yet. Because, like, you know, the reviews were pretty bad. But I played a little bit of the DLC because of my friend who owns it. It doesn't seem that bad, so I'll probably pick it up. So I don't got much to say about them. Okay, bye. Rarely when I play any class-based game in general do I enjoy maybe more than just 2 classes. But Risk of Rain's characters are so diverse in their playstyles that they always breathe fresh air into every run, which is one of the main aspects that makes Risk of Rain 2 so good. With any class on any run, you could become this omnipotent being capable of wiping out all of life on the planet just to be smited by a couple steel balls a little bit later. I'm dead? What happened? The maps and world design is phenomenal. You can find lore drops about every enemy, every environment, almost everything in the game. And, you know, for most people, you're just here to destroy everything in sight. But it's very nice that they took the time to flesh out stuff that most of us would never have blinked twice at if it was never included. The thing that often holds roguelikes back from becoming large mainstream games, often appealing to more people, generally tends to be multiplayer. Some people just don't have nearly as much fun playing a single-player game compared to the replayability of multiplayer games, or they get bored faster when they're not able to play with their friends. And for most roguelikes with co-op or multiplayer, there isn't enough replayability, or the seamless integration is just not up to the capabilities that it needs to be. This is not a problem for Risk of Rain 2. It has a fantastic seamless integrated system for up to 4 people to all play together. They even have fun multiplayer challenge relics, like if one person dies, everybody dies, and friendly fire, which isn't just friendly fire for you guys, but for the enemies, that they can now hurt each other as well. And I mean, look at this screen. There's nothing friendly about this. It's just fire. I believe the seamless multiplayer component of Risk of Rain 2 is another key aspect that expands the target audience of Risk of Rain and brings it even more replayability. And then finally, you have the icing on the cake, the bow on top, what wraps it up and brings it all together. Chris created one of the greatest soundtracks ever, of all time, and it's paired with highly engaging gameplay with phenomenal art design and seamless multiplayer. There really is nothing like Risk of Rain 2, it might as well be in its own genre. If you clicked on this video and you've never played Risk of Rain 2, this is your sign that you need to play this game, and hey, try and convince some of your friends to play it with you as well. Anyway, I'm gonna go play some Risk of Rain. Thank you for watching.